Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have 6 articles in this episode for you. All of the URLs are in the description of the video for your convenience. This is all about Obamagate. The first article I have is off of Conservative Tribune, and it says, listen, former Intel officer says Obama could be first former president with a felony indictment. President Donald Trump flipped the media and political world, as well as Russian collusion narrative, on the collective heads over the weekend with a series of tweets alleging former President Barack Obama's administration had wiretapped and spied on him and his associates in Trump Tower during the 2016 election season, perhaps illegally. While there of course has been substantial pushback against the extreme accusation by both the media and Obama's people, there does seem to be some circumstantial evidence that Trump allegations were correct, at least more than any proving Trump was somehow colluding with the Russian government. If indeed it does turn out to be the case that the Obama administration illegally surveilled Trump's team ahead of the election day, as some have speculated, the end result could be unprecedented indictment of former president on felony charges. So a highly respected former senior intelligence officer, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, told Conservative Tribune sister company USA Radio Network's Rusty Humphreys on Trending Today USA Monday morning, calling the alleged incident an order of magnitude bigger than Watergate scandal. Shaver stated that the incident would have, included using nation-state resources for purposes of political gain. Humphreys asked if, should everything turn out to be true, Obama would be arrested and held accountable for violating the laws. This could be the first time a former president could be indicted for a felony, Shaffer answered, because I think it is very possible that he acted outside of the scope of his duties, responsibilities, and authorities to turn the resources of the nation state on a candidate. This is, as I've said before, Soviet dictator level wrongdoing, he added. Shaffer also noted that given Obama's use of government resources to conduct other spying operations, it was easy to imagine him doing the same against Trump, particularly while working under the assumption that the Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton would easily win the general election and keep a subterfuge against Trump under wraps. You can hear part of the conversation in a video in this article if you'd like to pull it up. It says, to be sure, this is mostly speculation, but given Shaffer's lengthy military career, his rise to the top of American intelligence community, and his current role as senior fellow at the prestigious London Center for Policy Research, his speculation carried more weight than that of ill-informed media pundits and narrative-pushing Democrats. So there you have the first one. The next one is off of Liberty Writers, and it says, Jeff Sessions just got on Fox News and said, Trump grinning from ear to ear. Following the announcement today by Jeff Sessions that he was recusing himself from any investigation, this comes on the heels of reports that Jeff Sessions met with the Russian ambassador while he was working for Donald Trump. Do you see a witch hunt? Carlson asked. I do not think what I said, or try that again. I do not think what was said about that meeting I had with the Russian ambassador was a legitimate, Sessions answered. Tucker Carlson landed the amazing interview with him that you can watch here in a video at the 8:03 mark with Jeff Sessions, if you want to pull that up and look at it. It says, at the start of the conversation, Tucker Carlson brought up Michael Flynn's resignation, and Jeff Sessions made clear that he will recuse himself from every investigation into the Trump campaign. That's exactly what an attorney general should do. Trump has picked a great person. So there you have that one. The next one here is off of Natural News and says, perjurer Clapper says Trump were not under Obama administration's surveillance in direct opposition to published accounts. James Clapper, the former director of the National Intelligence, the person all 17 U.S. intelligence agencies answer to, told NBC News' Chuck Todd on Sunday that he can deny there was ever any court-ordered surveillance in direct opposition to several published accounts, noting that said surveillance did take place. We have truly entered the surreal world of deep state, folks. First of all, let's get something straight. Clapper's appearance on NBC News was no accident. It was planned from the outset as quick stopgap counter-assault against President Donald Trump's claim just a day earlier that Obama wiretapped his New York City-based Trump Tower, playing his part like a circus monkey. Clapper, a careerist intel guy who ran interference for Obama for 6 years, was trotted out as an expert source to refute the president's bogus claims. Now, let's analyze all this. It helps to know what Clapper's role as the DNI was. As noted by AllGov, created in the wake of September 11th terrorist attacks, the Director of National Intelligence, or the DNI, serves as the top intelligence official in the United States government. The DNI oversees what is known as the intelligence community, which consists of more than a dozen civilian and military agencies that collect information on threats against the United States. The DNI is the principal advisor to the President, the National Security Council, and Homeland Security Council for Intelligence. So how likely is it that the director of all intelligence would not know that a presidential candidate was under surveillance? It also helps to know that Clapper is a congressional perjurer. In testimony before the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence on March 12, 2013, Clapper told Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, in no uncertain terms that no, the National Security Agency does not collect any data on all Americans. When asked, Clapper responded, "No, sir." Wyden pressed on, "It does not." Clapper responded, "Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently perhaps collect, but not wittingly. So in other words, the highly technologically advanced NSA, in a sort of oops moment, might have, at some point, collected Americans' information improperly. Sure. Oh, but then came the revelations from the NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden in June of that year, in which he revealed that, yes, the NSA was engaged in a secret program to collect tens of millions of Americans' phone call records. The site noted further revelations would unveil NSA programs collecting Americans' web browsing histories, chat logs, email usage, and even their physical locations. Clapper later characterized his statement as erroneous and claimed incredulously he misunderstood the question. Right, the highly educated DNI misunderstood a perfectly clear and precise question. Clapper's claim that no such surveillance took place don't jibe with the former Bush Attorney General Michael McCasey said over the weekend, namely that Trump is right. He was under surveillance, under authorization of the FISA warrant Clapper says didn't exist. I think Trump's right in that there was surveillance and that it was conducted at the behest of the Attorney General at the Justice Department, McCasey told ABC's This Week. Clapper's statement also does not jibe with the months of reporting by the deep state's preferred media outlets that Trump and his closest advisors were under FISA-ordered surveillance. As noted by Breitbart, quoting numerous print sources, the Obama administration first sought a FISA warrant to monitor communications involving Trump and his advisors in June of 2016, but it was uncharacteristically rejected. The administration applied again in October and was granted the surveillance warrant. In January, the New York Times reported the day before Trump was inaugurated that various intelligence agencies, the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, as well as the Treasury Department, had indeed kept Trump and his advisory staff under investigation, Breitbart noted. Other news outlets also reported the existence of a multi-agency working group to coordinate investigations across the government. though it is unclear how they found out, since the investigations would have been secret and involved classified information. And Clapper wants us to believe an operation this big, involving this many agencies, focused on a presidential candidate from a rival political party, either didn't happen or escaped attention. You bet. When elephants fly. Next article I have for you is off of BizPac Review, and it says, former Obama Secret Service agent Bongino shares info on Obama's wiretaps. It's about to blow wide open. Former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino believes the Trump Tower wiretapping scandal, known as Obamagate by many on social media, is going to blow wide open this week. The best-selling author added that he plans on sharing information on the Obama administration this week with the public. Bongino worked for the administration of former President George W. Bush and Barack Obama in the Presidential Protection Division. He was frequent presence on cable news shows throughout the 2016 presidential election season and had an explosive confrontation with CNN's Don Lemon in defense of Trump. It was so fired that President Trump congratulated him for it. In a Facebook Live video after the tweets, Bongino said the media wants to push the story that Trump might have pressed the FBI to tell him about the wiretapping, or that the president is lying. But he explained that Trump's Secret Service protection probably did electronic countermeasure sweeps to check for listening devices and found the bugs. The media is too busy looking to find a way to make the story about President Trump doing something incorrect to realize that this is the most likely scenario, according to Bongino. And he believes America is going to find out this week. And there's some video in this if you want to pull it up and take a look at that. The next one is off of The Sun, and it says, Trump Tower blaze officials say suspicious. National Hotel and Tower in New York was caused by faulty machinery in a room. Authorities initially said the blaze, which broke out shortly after 4:30 a.m. local time, was suspicious. A fire caused by malfunctioning machinery broke out at Trump International Hotel and Tower in New York in the early hours of Friday. Authorities had initially said the blaze, which broke out shortly after 4:30 a.m. local time, was suspicious, according to initial reports. And there's some pictures in this if you want to pull it up and take a look at them. It says, but the cops now say the cause is believed to have been a piece of machinery malfunctioning, according to the Daily Mail. The blaze began on the 47th floor of the busy hotel in Central Park in New York City, ABC7 reported. Officials say that the fire was put out around 5:20 a.m. One witness, Harold Mindel, said on Facebook, waking up at 4:30 a.m. with the sounds of many fire trucks headed to Trump International Hotel and Condo at the Columbus Circle and Central Park West. No evacuation of the luxury hotel was necessary, but the upper floors of the building are now being vented and amid concerns over carbon monoxide fumes. Person is reported to have been treated for smoke inhalation. 166 apartment condo tower, which was built in 1996, features hotel-style service, health club, pool, sauna, and steam room, among other amenities, according to Trump International Realty. Residents are located from the 23rd through the 52nd floors and are accessible from the private entrance on Central Park West, the company website says. For the, let's see. Yeah, that's the end of that article. I put this in with the Obamagate because it has to do with Trump Tower, and I find it fascinating that just as this wiretapping thing is breaking out, there's also a fire breaking out in an equipment room. Curious. The next article that we have is off of westernjournalism.com, and it says, former Attorney General, Trump surveillance okay through Justice Department. And there's video in this. The United States Attorney General under President George W. Bush on Sunday said he believes Trump Tower was under surveillance before the presidential election, and that the surveillance was ordered by former Attorney General Loretta Lynch. This is the difference between being correct and being right. I think the president was not correct, certainly, in saying that President Obama ordered the tap on service, on server in Trump Tower, and former Attorney General Michael Muskie said on the weekend. Although Muskie is retired, he said that based on the news accounts he has read, he believes there may have been an FISA order to conduct surveillance on Donald Trump. However, I think he's right in that there was surveillance and that it was conducted on the behest of the Attorney General of the Justice Department through the FISA court. Muskie said, referring to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act court, which oversees such requests. Also base it on the kind of inadvertent blurting out by Adam Schiff that his committee wants to talk to counterintelligence agents at the FBI who were involved in this, Muskie explained, noting that Schiff complained about the FBI not telling Congress any counterintelligence investigations they are conducting. Muskie said the inference from that is clear. It means there were some basis to believe that somebody in Trump Tower may have been acting as an agent of the Russians for whatever purpose, not necessarily the election, but for some purpose, Muskie said. And the FBI keeps track of people who act as agents of foreign governments. They keep track of people who act as agents of the Chinese, Russians, and Israelis, everybody. The only way to verify what was done is a full public disclosure, as former Attorney General said, and that should not be done even in a political storm as hot as this one, he stated. Reports have circulated for weeks that Trump Tower has been under surveillance. In early January, The Guardian revealed that the FBI sought a warrant in the summer of 2016 and was rejected, but may have received one in October. Later in January, the National Review reported that there was a connection between Trump Tower server and a Russian bank regarding a banking violation. The National Review reported later that the link was investigated and found to be benign. The issue surfaced again last week when radio host Mark Levin and the website Breitbart contended that a surveillance began over a legitimate banking issue may have spilled over into surveillance of Trump and his family. Trump then commented upon their reports in a series of Saturday tweets accusing Obama of having ordered the surveillance, launching the current firestorm of controversy over whether surveillance was conducted and who may have ordered it. So that's what I have on Obamagate. I'll be bringing you a lot more articles this morning, so stay tuned. If you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media so everybody gets to enjoy the news. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. That way you'll stay informed.